How's it going, everyone? Gotta talk a little bit of unfortunate PlayStation news in this video. An unfortunate update to a PlayStation service that I'm sure is gonna upset some people. I know I got a lot of viewers here that are big fans of the PlayStation Stars reward service. Well, that reward service is gonna get a little less effective come early 2025. We'll talk about that. And if you've been following my coverage of Black Myth Wukong, I've been talking a little bit about the game being available only on PlayStation 5 as far as console releases go, and why I think that was such a huge blunder. Whatever the reason is for Xbox to not get that game right out the gate, and the reception to Black Myth Wukong, the commercial demand for the game, and how this game is doing in China, man, oh man, I cannot quantify how big of a blunder this was for Microsoft and Xbox. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and also PlayStation 5 selling very well because of the release of Black Myth Wukong in China, and I'm sure it's seeing a bit of a surge over here stateside. But right off the top, PlayStation Plus memberships will no longer earn you points on PlayStation Stars effective March 1st of 2025. This was updated on the official PlayStation website. I believe a few of you guys have pointed this out in my comments section, which I wasn't aware of. Effective March 1st, 2025, points will no longer be earned on subscription payments made on PlayStation Store, including any initial or renewal subscription payments for PlayStation Plus or any other subscription services. So yes, the rewards program is already getting nerfed. They also note for PlayStation Plus subscribers, are there any specific purchases that would be excluded from earning points? And they note effective March 1st, points will no longer be earned on subscription payments made on PlayStation Store. They updated PlayStation terms of services as well. So there you go with that. I'm sure that's going to cause a little bit of disappointment. PlayStation Stars, like reward services in general, I feel like to the majority of people already look at that as something that takes quite a lot for people to accumulate rewards, but it's something that happens totally passively, and after a while, people are just like, oh, I got enough points to buy X game or get X amount of credits, so on and so forth, and I guess people getting way too many points, they are figuring out a way to nerf this and I guess depreciate the value of PlayStation Stars. PlayStation Stars has had a lot of issues. The service was down for all that time earlier this year. Thankfully, it is back up. But also, it should be noted that now PlayStation Stars points do expire after 12 months instead of 24 months. That'll be effective here shortly as well. So they are very much nerfing PlayStation Stars. And by the way, the points expiration timeline, that'll be effective October 24th instead of your typical, March 1st or whatever it is for the subscription payments. Yeah, March 1st is when that's going to be adjusted. October 24th for the points expiration adjustment as well. So PS Stars getting a little bit less effective, I guess it is what it is as far as that's concerned. But I do know a lot of you guys do take advantage of PS Stars, and this is something to be mindful of alongside, the depreciating value of PlayStation Plus. I don't know if this is gonna be the thing to make anyone finally move away from subscribing to PlayStation Plus, but man, have I been seeing in my comment section so many people saying, hey, like all I do is play single player games now, Plus is a trash service, it is not worth the yearly subscription fee, and guys, I'm kind of on board with you as far as the value of Plus. I mean, it's going to vary from person to person. I think if you're somebody jumping into the PlayStation ecosystem for the first time, the Vault catalog of games is worthwhile, but we're seeing that even that a lesson in value with PlayStation removing their own first-party titles, but is what it is. As far as that's concerned, again, PS Stars no longer giving points for subscriptions on March the 1st. All right, moving on from that. If you've been watching my channel and seeing my coverage of Black Myth Wukong, I feel like that I have been one of the content creators that's been a little bit more vocal about how big of a blunder missing out on Black Myth Wukong on launch day for the Xbox platform exactly was. We are in a period where PlayStation as a console, it is not getting a lot of marquee exclusives. You've got Concord coming out, nobody gives a damn about that game. You got Astrobot coming out, which is a smaller scale game that I don't think is reflective of what most people associate PlayStation with, but I'm incredibly excited for that game. But generally speaking, when you think of PlayStation big budget titles, you think of Spider-Man 2, you think of God of War, you think of Horizon, and we have none of that for the entirety of 2024 from a first party standpoint, and nothing at all in terms of even a console timed exclusive like FF7 Rebirth, Rise of Ronin, and Stellar Blade were earlier this year. But for whatever reason, Black Myth Wukong has missed out on a release on Xbox, and I don't think a lot of people made a big deal about this because they were just like, alright, whatever, I'm playing this game on PC, I'm playing it on PlayStation 5, but if you want to talk about the console market, missing out on Black Myth Wukong, for whatever reason it is, my personal belief is, given how technically impressive this game is, and the fact that this game has issues running on the PlayStation 5, it has some technical shortcomings, it's totally playable, but imagine getting this game to run on the Xbox Series S, and we know that Microsoft needs parity out of the games as far as running on both platforms. I do believe that's why Black Myth Wukong was delayed, much like Baldur's Gate 3 was delayed last year. That was such a significant blunder, again, by whoever was involved, if it's because of the Series S, because you are literally gifting PlayStation 5 a timed exclusive, a timed console exclusive, I should say, and for the period that they are in, that's something that was a gigantic W for PlayStation. Look, if you're looking to pick up a console right now, and you see a game like Black Myth Wukong is one of the premier games coming out, one of the games everybody's talking about, and it's not available on Xbox, huge blunder, massive blunder that I cannot even quantify how big of a W this was for PlayStation that they weren't even expecting. And now we're hearing that PlayStation 5 stock is selling out in China, and it's because of the high demand for Black Myth Wukong. We already saw on Steam that the game is peaking at over 2 million players. Now, obviously, this game is a cultural phenomenon over in China. That is not necessarily the case over here in the West. It's a big game, but I wouldn't call it a cultural phenomenon where everybody under the sun is playing it. I've got a lot of buddies playing it, don't get me wrong. It's a super, super popular game, but you can imagine in China, a literal cultural phenomenon, and it literally represents a landmark moment for gaming in China. That is not hyperbole, that is factual, and again, that is just such a significant blunder where Microsoft, I really feel like, and I talk about this because I want healthy competition in the marketplace, and Sony and PlayStation not having healthy competition, guys, I'm telling you, that is not good for the consumer in the long run. Sony, if they make bad decisions, they need to be punished for it, and right now, there isn't a competitor to punish them, to check them, much like when Xbox tried to do their used game nonsense, much like when Microsoft tried to go all in on Kinect, Sony was there to check them. Nobody is there to check PlayStation right now, and that is not a good thing. That will ultimately not be a good thing for the consumer, and I see PlayStation have a lackluster output as far as game releases this holiday. I see them focusing so much on live service games, and a lot of that is not great for the consumer. That's not what you guys want out of PlayStation, and who's there to check PlayStation? Oh, maybe if Microsoft had a really, really solid exclusive lineup, console exclusive lineup, maybe if they didn't give up Black Myth Wukong for whatever reason and give that to Sony as pretty much a timed console exclusive, it would be better, and it would give Xbox an opportunity to actually check PlayStation, but that's not going to be the case, and I know Xbox isn't really in the business right now of checking PlayStation, but even if that's the case, ultimately not going to be good for you, the consumer, as far as the future of PlayStation is concerned, if nobody is there to check them and offer at least a little bit of pressure. That competition in gaming, that's such a healthy place to be in, because that's when they're going to do the things that you exactly want. But yeah, Microsoft is not in a position to do that, and Black Myth Wukong has been this outstanding success, but I feel like what's gotten lost in the shuffle as PlayStation has just been gifted this timed exclusive, and with a game like Black Myth Wukong, yeah, maybe it'll come out on Xbox in 3 months, in 6 months, whatever the case may be. A game like this, it peaks for that week that it's out, maybe it'll sustain interest for another month, but it's a single-player game. Once you're done with it, you're done with it, and I very well expect that the Steam concurrent player counts a month from now are gonna be down to, like, you know, 40,000, somewhere around that level. Maybe it'll have some interest in China still, but it's going to fall off from the north of 1.52 million that it's peaking at, and at that point, if you're releasing it on Xbox, so much of that interest has gone, and now PlayStation has just capitalized with a free timed exclusive. I just feel like not enough of a big deal has been made about this. And it's been, if I'm Sony, I'd be popping open the champagne. I'd be like, thank you, we just got a free timed console exclusive. I mean, this is something that Sony would pay for. We've seen Sony pay for timed console exclusives, but in this case, they just got it for free. And different than Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that was so entrenched on PC. And remember, Baldur's Gate 3 had a 1-month delayed release on PlayStation, and the interest in Baldur's Gate 3 had fallen off by the time that the game dropped on PlayStation. That was a game that that was always going to be more so attached to PC. Black Myth Wukong, I don't believe is that. Black Myth Wukong is a console and PC game, where Baldur's Gate 3 more associated with PC, I personally feel. But that game also had a delayed release on Xbox, but it had a delayed release on PlayStation as well. This is even more of a W, way more of a W than Baldur's Gate 3 was, for the reasons I outlined. But that is going to do it for me. Again, unfortunate news as far as PlayStation Stores is concerned, with subscriptions no longer offering points. But man, Sony caught a huge W with how big Black Myth Wukong had exploded. And as far as, you know, there is no console war anymore. I think Xbox is just perpetually going to take the L, and I think their business strategy is drastically shifting. I mean, they're releasing their titles on PlayStation. I don't think that's healthy for the long term of PlayStation. It's great that the PlayStation consumers are going to get titles like Hi-Fi Rush and Indiana Jones and so on and so forth, but in terms of PlayStation doing what you guys want to do and not taking advantage of the market share that they have in the console space, that's not good in the long run. At least I don't believe it's good, but let me know what you guys think. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.